In today's show, we're going to break down some quotes from Bobby Marks, who predicted that the Knicks are going to make it to the NBA Finals this year. Let's do this, though. If you want the Knicks to make it to the Finals, hit that thumbs up icon right now. It's proven by science. The more likes we get, the more likely it will happen. So don't be that guy. Don't jinx it. Hit that thumbs up icon right now. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for taking time out of their day to spend a couple of minutes with us as we break down maybe the best piece of work that ESPN has ever put out. ESPN insider Bobby Marks participated in a roundtable discussion for ESPN, and he was asked which NBA in-season matchup could be a preview of a potential finals matchup. And he mentioned the New York Knicks. Quote, Phoenix at New York, November 26th. Star power versus roster continuity. Yes, I have penciled in both teams as my early favorites to represent each conference in June. The style and how the two rosters were built are totally opposite. The high-spending Suns went all in with the Kevin Durant trade in February and then added Bradley Beal in June. The Knicks, on the other hand, have taken a more conservative approach, returning 13 players that lost to Miami in the second round while adding only Donte DiVincenzo in free agency. I mean, I always knew I liked Bobby Marks. I knew he was smart. I knew he never should have got fired from the Nets after he made maybe that questionable trade of Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce coming to Brooklyn. But I knew that Bobby Marks knew ball. When he talks about the Knicks, he knows what he's talking about.
Whoa. Marsh, I'm not gonna let you go on this rant right now. We got the receipts from last summer when you threw up this weigh-in on screen.
That's not
Bobby.
Me. Is that Bobby Marks?
I think that's who you're talking about right here. I'm not going to let you lie to the diehard Knicks fans that you've always been a Bobby guy right now.
Look, I mean, Seeps. People can change. People can get smarter. When Seeps started here, he didn't know ball, and then he started working with me, and I'd say he's pretty smart. Look, people can change. Seeps, big first impression guy. If he hates you, he's going to hate you forever. Maybe I didn't like Bobby Marks last summer. He probably said something stupid about the Knicks. Now he said something right. And now he's my guy. Shout out to Bobby Marks. I'm going to tell you in a second, though, if I actually do believe the Knicks could make it to the NBA Finals. But first, I want to ask this hypothetical. If the Knicks did match up with the Phoenix Suns against Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, who would win the series? Type NYK for the Knicks, type PHX for the Phoenix Suns. Look, I know a lot of people may have already turned off the video saying there is no way the New York Knicks with Julius Randle and Tom Thibodeau can make the finals. Well, I'm going to tell you why this is not the most outrageous prediction that I have ever seen. Reason number one, defense wins championships. I know a lot of people be like, whoa, what about the Denver Nuggets? Well, they were ranked third in defensive rating, only behind the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Cavs, they only played 5 games in the playoffs where they got waxed by our New York Knicks. The Knicks, they had the best playoff defensive rating of any team in the NBA playoffs. 108.5, number one. They are a strong defensive team. And when you have Tibbs, especially playoff Tom Thibodeau on your side, you are always going to have a defensive identity, and he's going to be able to put a game plan together to slow down opposing stars. We saw Jimmy Butler have his worst series in the playoffs against Tibbs and the Knicks. And of all second-round playoff teams, the Knicks allowed the least amount of points per game at just over 100 per night. Look, if the Knicks are going to make the finals next year, they got to be a defensive juggernaut. Another reason that I could maybe see the Knicks making it to the finals is team chemistry. Like Bobby talked about, they are bringing 13 players back. But it goes deeper than just that. When you talk about the people that actually got minutes in the playoffs for the Knicks last year, they had the youngest rotation of all second-round playoff teams. The average rate in rotation among second-round playoff teams this past season for the Knicks, 25.2. Younger than the Nuggets, Celtics, Sixers, Suns, Warriors, Lakers, Heat. The Knicks, they have a young core. They're going to get better. They had a lot of young players on this team, like Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley, who really got their first taste of that playoff basketball atmosphere. And I think those young guys are going to take a step. So you got defense, team chemistry, and let's be honest, there are multiple shot creators on this New York Knicks team. You need that to succeed in the NBA playoffs. You have to have multiple people, multiple points of attack that can help you achieve what you're trying to do. And if you can have more people that can put the ball in the basket, that's just going to help you. And we know Jalen Brunson can get it done at the highest level when the lights are shining the brightest. We saw him average 31 points per game against the Miami Heat. Has Randall been awful in the playoffs? Yes. But we've also seen in the regular season that he can drop 60 points in a game and sometimes get hot and carry you. R.J. Barrett, he averaged 20 points per game in the playoffs this past year. And Emmanuel Quickly, we know he can go out and just absolutely dominate a basketball game in high-pressure situations, although he did struggle in the playoffs. But if all four of these guys are at their highest point or just did what they did in the regular season this past year, the Knicks, they would have one of the best offenses in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. The last point I want to lean on, and this might need to be the biggest point of all of them, is could a midseason trade happen? We know that Leon Rose and the Knicks are building their roster to a point where they can make a trade for a superstar. That's why they've added all those first-round picks. That's why they have so many middling salaries on this team, so they could pair a bunch of them together and go get a high-priced superstar. But we saw last year with the Knicks that a midseason trade for Josh Hart really changed the entire dynamic of this basketball team. It changed the trajectory of this team. It took them from a team that was competing to be a play-in team to seriously one of the best in the Eastern Conference in almost every metric across the table. I will say this, though. I do not expect an NBA Finals appearance for the Knicks. Am I going to be rooting for it like hell? Absolutely. If they make the finals, am I going to claim that I predicted it? Absolutely. But I do not expect at this current moment for the Knicks to make the NBA Finals. My goal, though, for this team is let's get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks, they made the playoffs last year. They overachieved. They won a playoff series against a top 4 team in the Cleveland Cavaliers. They played well against the Miami Heat, just not well enough. Didn't get enough help from some of those role players. Randall didn't play well. Quickly got hurt. He wasn't playing well before that. Grimes had some inconsistent games. Josh Hart was not as effective. But can those guys and this team, with a lot of players coming back, a lot of youth, advance to the next round in the NBA playoffs? That is my goal for the Knicks this season. Get to the conference finals and then let the chips fall where they may. To recap, my 4 reasons or points as to how the Knicks can make the finals. Be a strong defensive team. We know that that is in their DNA with Tom Thibodeau. The team chemistry, I don't think that that can be slept on for this unit. I really think that was a strong point as to why the Knicks were so good last year. And with adding Josh Hart for a full 82 and a Donte DiVincenzo alongside Jalen Brunson, Captain America, and his college teammates, I think that's going to help. Multiple shot creators, and could a midseason trade be on the horizon that really moves the needle for this franchise? I appreciate everybody for tuning in to New York Knicks Now. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. If you want to chop it up about the Knicks over there, give me a follow, and let's go.